So there's big news that just happened for companies that hire international talent, which at this point, it is a lot of them. A while back, your president decided to tag on a $100,000 fee to H-1B visas, and a federal court just struck that down, pretty much saying it's unconstitutional. So if you're curious about what this means, or you just kind of have no idea what an H-1B visa is, here's a quick breakdown on kind of what has happened and how this could impact either the company you work for or impact you if you have an H-1B visa. So pretty much an H-1B visa is a visa that's sponsored by an employer, and it allows someone who is in a foreign country to move to the U.S. Typically, you need a bachelor's degree at minimum, and you kind of have to be in this specialty role. Some of those roles could be certain types of accountants, software engineers, researchers, some certain types of scientists, healthcare providers, other kinds of engineering roles too. So sort of those things that require specialized knowledge and skill. That's the whole point of it. So you can get your company to move faster by finding talent elsewhere if we can't find it here in the US. So because this is a company-sponsored visa, there are certain limitations that companies have to navigate and figure out that the government controls. So what happened in September of 2025 is the current president decided we were going to attach this $100,000 fee to the H-1B filing process. So this fee would have been new, and honestly, it made no sense, but I'm just here to tell you what it is, not necessarily give my opinion at the moment. But yeah, so $100,000. So this fee, it was going to apply to new applications, not to people who were just renewing theirs. And you refer to it as a petition. So it's not a petition renewal, it was for the new applications. Now, once somebody already has their H-1B, they can go and apply to other jobs, but that employer would have to agree to sponsor that petition. So there would be something that's called like a change of employer petition. And also there are change of status requests. There's all this stuff that goes into it. We're not going to get into all that nuance, but just know that if it was a new application, like as a company, we decided we want to post this position and find someone because we haven't been able to find someone in the US that meets the qualifications, that company would have to pay the $100,000. So part of why this fee was put into place, and I again say fee loosely, I'll say why in a minute, is because the concept of we've got great workers right here in the US. Why do we need to bring foreign people to come take these jobs from hardworking American citizens? Well, it's not that simple, because some of these positions, we truly did not have the talent, or the talent was very slim, or maybe these people were still in school. I don't know. It depends on the role. The thought process was sort of, if we tag on this fee, then less people would, or less companies would use this H-1B route. So there was a pretty significant drop in the number of applicants, because not all companies can afford to drop this $100,000 fee to use this H-1B, right? So, okay, so why did the judge of this federal court strike down the fee? Let's get into that. Well, first of all, this fee, and I put this in quotations, it seemed more like a tax, right? We're not going to get into taxes, tariffs, all the things we've had to deal with over the course of the past, several months. But it operated more like a tax, and you can't just make up taxes. Generally speaking, a new tax would involve Congress being involved, right? Like, you can't just say, boom, here's a new tax on this all willy-nilly as even the president of the United States, or at least you're not supposed to be able to do that. So it takes some proper authority, otherwise kind of dealing with that checks and balances we learned about when we were like in elementary school, middle school. That was not in play here, according to the federal ruling, it seems like. Secondly, it seems like there was an issue with the APA, the Administrative Procedure Act, I believe it's called. I'm not going to get into the details of that, but that was the second issue they found with this $100,000 fee. But essentially, the judge said, hey, y'all didn't do anything what y'all were supposed to do when it came to this fee. There was no notice. This didn't make sense, yada, yada, yada. They struck it down. So as a result, the governing body of, like visa processes, USCIS, said, nope, can't make companies pay this $100,000 fee. We're not doing this. Now, Is it going to be that simple? Is that the end of it? I highly doubt it. And as an HR professional, we've seen things change very drastically. The rules have been all over the place. It's impacted business operations for so many companies, and I'm curious to see what happens from here on out. Of course, the US government is probably going to appeal that decision, but again, we don't know what's going to happen. So the appeals court could say, well, we're going to keep the fee in place while we figure this out, or they can pause it. And so who knows? Could people submit without? I don't know. We won't get into that. We don't know what's going to happen. We have to watch. What does that mean for employers and for the talent that's looking to obtain these jobs? Well, one thought is it could make it easier and help employees or potential employees get more confidence in the process again, because people don't know what to expect these days. It's very frustrating for talent, rightfully so. But we'll have to see. Companies could be more comfortable pursuing an H-1B visa, but my bet is a lot of companies are still going to sort of hold off and see what happens in the end, so they don't get caught up in, mid changes or mid-season changes. It seems like it could be a headache if they go ahead and try to proceed with doing anything or pursuing applications without getting this kind of ironed out all the way. So overall, this is an active legal issue, and employers and HR professionals are just going to have to keep watching it. And of course, I am not an attorney, so you need to check in with your immigration attorneys, sign up for whatever notifications you can if you are in HR or HR adjacent, or if you just want to be sort of in the know about what's going on with our government, with our regulations, so that you can support your employee population and just seem more useful to your employer. I have a couple recommendations. Google the immigration firms in your area, or even not in your area. One tip is to Google law firms that are in California and sign up for their newsletters, because their notifications are going to be different possibly from some of your local ones, because California's laws are kind of all over the place. They're like a different country almost. Start going to some of those webinars, seminars that might be free or low cost in your area, and just kind of stay ahead of things, or really it's hard to stay ahead, but keep up with things as much as you can. JD Supra is another great website. I'm signed up for their email list as well. And the great thing about theirs is you can pick and choose what subject matter you want to follow. It doesn't just have to be immigration. It could be tons of, I can't even get into how many topics there are. But in any case, what do you think is going to happen? Let me know in the comments. I will keep following this because it does impact the talent that works for my company. Share what you know, what you think down in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.